Welcome in. Hey everyone, and welcome. Pull up a chair, get comfortable because you've just entered confession court. This is the place where we leave judgment at the door and make space for what's real, for what's true. Every single week, we dive deep into the stories that shape us, the moments that define us, and the confessions that ultimately set us free. This isn't just about airing secrets. It's about finding strength in vulnerability and healing in community. It's where your truth gets its day in court, and the final verdict is always growth and understanding. We're building something special here, a space for raw honesty. So, if you're ready for real talk and even realer breakthroughs, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a session. Let's get into it. Welcome in. Hey everyone, and welcome. Pull up a chair, get comfortable because you've just entered confession court. This is the place where we leave judgment at the door and make space for what's real, for what's true. Every single week, we dive deep into the stories that shape us, the moments that define us, and the confessions that ultimately set us free. This isn't just about airing secrets. It's about finding strength in vulnerability and healing in community. It's where your truth gets its day in court, and the final verdict is always growth and understanding. We're building something special here, a space for raw honesty. So, if you're ready for real talk and even realer breakthroughs, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a session. Let's get into it. Welcome in. Hey everyone, and welcome.
Welcome, y'all. Welcome to Confession Court, where truth stands trial. Hey there, Miss B. Ready. Where truth stands trial and healing gets the final word. I'm your host, C.H.A. and tonight's case cuts deep. Tonight, y'all, we are talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. Hey there, Donald. Welcome, man. Welcome, man. Welcome to Confession Court. Tonight, we're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. So let's be real for a second, y'all. Let's be real for a second. Forgiveness and healing is not the same thing. See, forgiveness closes the chapter while healing rewrites the story. See, forgiveness says, I release you, and healing says, I reclaim me. See, one frees the other person while the other frees you. See, some of you forgave because you wanted peace. You wanted the noise to stop, the questions, to quiet down. See, the room inside your chest feels like home again. Hey there, y'all. Welcome in. Welcome in. How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Let us go. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to change up this view. Okay, there we go. Hey there, Telly. Welcome in. Welcome to Confession Court. How is your morning going? How is your morning going? So the topic for tonight is I forgave them, but I didn't heal. See, some of you forgave because you wanted peace. You wanted the noise to stop, the questions to quiet down, the room inside your chest to feel like home again. Hey there, Carrie. Welcome to Confession Court. Tonight, we're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. See, you said, let me be the bigger person because you were tired of feeling small. Hey there, welcome to Confession Court. But the truth is, you were still bleeding with a smile, holding the cut together with polite words and a steady face. Hey there, y'all, welcome in. Welcome to Confession Court. See, you stopped talking about it, but it still talks back when you're alone. It takes you through old memories and rings on your phone with names you deleted. You said, I'm over it, but your body remembers your mouth, refuses to. Hey there, how you doing? Welcome to Confession Court. Tonight we're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. See, you know, and tonight we're going to talk about what they did. We're going to talk about, what it left. All right, because wounds don't vanish when you sign the forgiveness papers. Hey there, welcome in, y'all, welcome in. See, when they heal, when you tend to them. So sometimes the hardest part of forgiveness is realizing it didn't fix the pain, just remove the defendant from the room. Hey there, y'all, welcome to Confession Court. Welcome in. How are you doing? How is your Sunday morning going? Hey there, Mike Brown. Welcome to Confession Court. Tonight we're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. See, the evidence is still on the table. The impact statement, still in your chest. See, you can forgive and still feel angry. You can forgive and still feel triggered. You can forgive and still not feel free. That doesn't make you petty, it makes you honest. See, healing isn't about the absence of feeling, it's the presence of safety. And safety takes time, boundaries, language, and the truth you don't water down. Hey there, y'all. Welcome in. How are y'all doing? How are you doing? See, maybe you kept the peace by staying silent. Maybe you played nice to get your life back. Maybe you told yourself, if I forgive fast enough, it won't hurt so long. But speed isn't closure. A bandage slapped on too early just traps the infection under a clean white lie. So let's call things what they are. Not to relive the storm, but to finally dry off. See, hey there, welcome in, Jules. Welcome to Confession Court. Tonight we're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. See, forgiveness is a legal act. I won't prosecute you in my mind anymore. Hey there, know thyself. Welcome to Confession Court. Tonight we're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. So let's call things what they are. Hey there, Glow. How are you doing? Welcome to Confession Court. Tonight we're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. Hey there, is it Impress Live? How are you doing? Welcome to Confession Court. See, let's call things what they are. Not to relive the storm, but to finally dry off. See, forgiveness is a legal act. I won't prosecute you in my mind anymore. Healing is a living practice. I will protect and rebuild what was broken inside me. See, one is a declaration, the other is renovation. You don't live in the courtroom, you live in the house you build afterwards. Hey there, y'all. Welcome in. Welcome in. How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Welcome to Confession Court. See, awareness is the start of healing. Hey there, y'all. Welcome in. See, awareness is the start of healing. Not blame, not theatrics, awareness. See, the moment you can point to the exact place it hurts without shaming yourself for still hurting, that's the door unlocking. How are y'all doing? Welcome in. So, tonight we're putting forgiveness itself on trial. We're examining whether the verdict you gave brought peace or just quiet. Because if peace is the verdict, pain can't be the judge. Pain can testify, but it doesn't get the gavel. Your wisdom does, your boundaries do, your future does. So type the word over in the chat if you've ever told yourself, I'm over it, excuse me, but your heart still flinched when you heard their name. And again, please tap the screen. Let's push this live to the FYP because someone in the TikTok streets needs to hear this message tonight. And I thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming in. See, here's the promise of tonight. We will not glamorize the hurt. We will not minimize it either. We're here to separate mercy from amnesia, grace from self abandonment, closure from convenience. We'll learn how to stop negotiating our peace like it's optional and start defending it like it's law. See, we will honor the versions of us that kept breathing when love got heavy, the parts that didn't get what they could with what they knew. And we will give those parts a new assignment to live in truth without carrying the weight of what wasn't theirs. Thank y'all for coming in. How are you doing? See, if no one told you yet, hear it now. If no one told you yet, hear it now. You can forgive without returning. Hey there, Leva. How are you doing? Welcome to Confession Court. Tonight we're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. So, if no one told you, hear me. Hear me. You can forgive without returning. You can be kind without being available. You can be healed and still have a scar. And that scar can be a signature, not a sentence. So tonight, we are testifying for parts of ourselves that never got closure. We are swearing in our honesty. We are calling our courage to the stand, and we're preparing a verdict that doesn't just sound holy, it actually sets us free. How are y'all doing tonight? Welcome in. Welcome into Confession Court, y'all. Welcome in. How are y'all doing? How is your day going, y'all? I hope it is going well. Welcome in. Welcome in. How are you doing? How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? So, family, let's step into the evidence, shall we? Let's step into the evidence, shall we? Because tonight's case isn't about who hurt you. It's about, what stayed inside after they left. See, this is where most people, stop the story and they think the credits roll and the credit roll, once, they say, I forgive you. But forgiveness isn't the end, it's the entrance. It's not a destination, it's the doorway you walk through before you start the real work. Hey there, y'all. Welcome in. Welcome into Confession Court. How are y'all doing? How is the start of your morning going? I hope it is going well. Tonight's case is I forgave them, but I didn't heal. So I want to give y'all the tools and everything that y'all need to heal after whatever breakup that you have gone through. So again, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for liking the live, sharing the live. See, you can forgive someone and still flinch at the memory. You can release them, but still replay what they did. You can say, I'm over it, while your spirit is still sitting in the courtroom of that moment, re arguing a case you swore you closed. See, most of us forgive because it sounds mature, because it feels spiritual, because it's what good people do, or what good people are supposed to do. See, we say, I forgive you, like it's a medal of honor, but deep down, we're still bleeding through the bandage. See, forgiveness became our survival mechanism, not our surrender. We used to, we used it like armor. We forgave so we wouldn't look weak. We forgave so people, call us strong. We forgave to keep the peace, but we never asked if the peace was real. See, sometimes, we forgave just to make them comfortable. When what we really need was to make ourselves whole. See, and here's where it gets tricky, y'all. Here's where it gets tricky. When forgiveness, becomes another mask for pain you never processed. When I'm over it is a code I don't want to feel it anymore. When the words I moved on became your favorite disguise. So you said I forgive you, but you still don't trust anyone new. You said I'm fine, but your body tenses every time a text comes in late. You said it's over, but your tone still shakes when their name slips out. You said I moved on, but your playlist still sounds like heartbreak. See, fam, that's not weakness, that's residue. And residue will ruin new relationships if you don't to rinse your spirit clean. But forgiveness frees them, but only healing frees you. If you skip the healing part, you'll keep attracting the same type of pain in a different body, a different face, a different name, but it will still be the same lesson. You'll keep changing partners, cities, churches, and jobs, but the emotional fingerprint will still be identical. See, that's not coincidence, y'all. That's not coincidence. That's an unhealed pattern calling for attention. See, forgiveness isn't about the absence, or see, well, forgiveness isn't the absence of emotion. It's the invitation to transformation. It's, the moment life says, okay, now that we have dropped the grudge, can we look at the wound? But too many of us stopped at the apology instead of continuing to the actual work. We said, I forgive you, and the thought that, was healing. See, we close the book without reading the lesson. We tried to move on before we truly moved through. You told the wound, I forgive you, but you never told yourself, I still need time to heal. You gave, you gave grace outward, but never inward. You offered closure to everyone except the person in the mirror. See, forgiveness says, I'm letting go of what they did. Healing says, I'm learning why I accepted it. See, forgiveness ends the moment, and healing ends the pattern. So ask yourself tonight, did you really forgive, or did you just stop talking about it? Did you actually find peace, or did you just get tired of the fight? Drop forgave in the chat if you've ever forgiven someone who never even apologized. You didn't need their sorry to move forward, but you do need your healing to stay free. Tap the screen and push your slide to the FYP because someone in the TikTok streets needs to hear this message tonight. Because what you bury alive doesn't die, it grows roots. It grows into triggers, tension, mistrust, and emotional fatigue. You think you buried a moment, but you planted a memory that keeps blooming in every new season. Hey there, y'all. Welcome in. So tonight, we dig it up. Not to relive it, but to release it. Because healing doesn't start, when you forget what happened. It starts when you stop pretending it didn't. See, let's talk about, what forgiveness doesn't go deep enough to heal the soul. All right.
Pull up a chair, get comfortable because you've just entered confession court. This is the place where we leave judgment at the door and make space for what's real, for what's true. Every single week, we dive deep into the stories that shape us, the moments that define us, and the confessions that ultimately set us free. This isn't just about airing secrets. It's about finding strength in vulnerability and healing in community. It's where your truth gets its day in court, and the final verdict is always growth and understanding. We're building something special here, a space for raw honesty. So, if you're ready for real talk and even realer breakthroughs, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a session. Let's get into it. Welcome in. Hey everyone, and welcome. Pull up a chair, get comfortable because you've just entered confession court. This is the place where we leave judgment at the door and make space for what's real, for what's true. Every single week, we dive deep into the stories that shape us, the moments that define us, and the confessions that ultimately set us free. This isn't just about airing secrets. It's about finding strength in vulnerability and healing in community. It's where your truth gets its day in court, and the final verdict is always growth and understanding. We're building something special here, a space for raw honesty. So, if you're ready for real talk and even realer breakthroughs, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a session. Let's get into it. Welcome in. Hey everyone, and welcome. Pull up a chair, get comfortable because you've just entered confession court. This is the place where we leave judgment at the door and make space for what's real, for what's true. Every single week, we dive deep into the stories that shape us, the moments that define us, and the confessions that ultimately set us free. This isn't just about airing secrets. It's about finding strength in vulnerability and healing in community. It's where your truth gets its day in court, and the final verdict is always growth and understanding. We're building something special here, a space for raw honesty. So, if you're ready for real talk and even realer breakthroughs, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a session. Let's get into it. Welcome in. Hey everyone, and welcome. Pull up a
Hey y'all, welcome back to Confession Court. So now we're into part two, which is the psychology of pain suppression. Hey there, Victoria, how are you doing? Welcome in. Hey there, Rob. Hey there, Slices. Hey there, that woman. How are y'all guys doing? Welcome back to Confession Court. So now we're going to talk about the psychology of pain suppression. See, let's break it down, shall we? Because this is where science meets the spirit. See, psychology says forgiveness happens in your mind, but healing happens in your nervous system. Hey there, y'all. Welcome in. How is y'all morning going? How is y'all morning going? Let me know. How is your morning going? Hey there, shop girl. How are you doing? See, you can say the words, you can pray the prayer, you can post the quote with, the fire caption, but your body still remembers the betrayal. You ever notice that? You can tell yourself, I'm good, but your shoulders still tighten when the memory flashes by. Hey there, y'all. Welcome in. How are you doing? Welcome back to Confession Court, y'all. See, your stomach still, flips when you hear that song. Your energy still drops when someone else brings up their name. Hey there, how are you doing? Welcome to Confession Court tonight. We're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. So right now we're in part two, the psychology of suppression. See, because, you know, drama doesn't vanish when you forgive. It just, changes its disguise. It hides in your tone, your silence, and your hesitation to trust. It lingers in the way you scroll past certain faces just, a little too fast. You know, it lives in the way you still apologize for things that wasn't even your fault. Hey y'all, welcome in, welcome in. Hey there, Mila. How you doing, Mila? How is your morning going? Or is it evening for you? Or is it just like late night? So I know you're like a couple hours behind me. But how are you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. And I appreciate y'all for tapping the screen. I appreciate y'all for sharing the live and everything. That means a lot to me. So now let's talk about what really happens under the hood, shall we? See, for a lot of people, forgiveness isn't freedom. It's emotional management, not emotional release. See, your brain says we're done. Your body says we are not safe. Hey there, Undoctrine. How are you doing? Welcome to Confession Court. How is your morning going? See, this is, why you still get anxious when something reminds you of them. This is why you flinch when someone raises their voice, even if they meant no harm. Hey there, Godspeed. How are you doing? Welcome to Confession Court. Tonight we are talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. See, this is why, or that's why you shut down when someone gets too close, because closeness feels dangerous now. Oh, well, that is awesome. That is good. I'm glad to hear that. Welcome to Confession Court. Sit back, relax. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Hey, there's that Beatty or Bevy. How are you doing? Welcome to Confession Court. Sit back and let's talk about it. Because we're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. So in this Confession Court, I'm going to give you the tools to heal so you can live your best life. See, it's like cleaning the wound but never changing the bandage. You forgave, but the infection, stayed underneath. You look fine from the outside. You feel that? That's awesome. You look fine from the outside, smiling, thriving, working, posting, but inside, the hurt keeps recycling itself like an emotional rerun. See, family, that's not healing, that's hiding. That's not peace, that's performance. See, forgiveness is about peace, healing is about wholeness. See, peace says, I can breathe again, you know, but wholeness says, I can trust again. Peace says, I've accepted it. Wholeness says, I've integrated it. See, peace can be temporary, but wholeness lasts. Wholeness means the wound doesn't own your reactions anymore. It means you don't have to, guard your joy like it's a secret. See, sometimes the reason you haven't healed isn't because you are broken. No, it's not because of that. It's because you keep treating your pain like it's your fault. You keep asking, why am I still feeling this? Instead of saying, of course, I still feel this. I'm human. See, you are not weak for still hurting. So don't think that. You're not weak for still hurting. You are just brave enough to admit that the scar still itches sometimes. Because it will itch. Here and there, it'll still itch. Just scratch and keep moving. So tell me in the chat, y'all. Drop it in the chat. What did forgiveness look like for you? What did forgiveness look like for you? True, true. Yeah. So let me know Godspeed. Let me know Nomad King. Let me know Victoria. What did forgiveness look like for you? Was it, blocking them? Was it praying about it? Was it pretending you were fine? Or was it finally walking away? And here's the real question. Did your peace bring closure or just silence? Did it bring peace? Did your peace bring closure or did it just bring silence? See, because a lot of people confuse numbness with healing. A lot of people confuse numbness with healing. You're not healed, you're just disconnected. You're not peaceful, you're just tired. You didn't move on, you just stopped talking about it. But silence doesn't mean peace. A lot of people get that confused. No, silence doesn't mean peace. It just means the pain learned how to whisper. Silence, but my story is mad wild. What you mean your story is mad wild? What happened? Okay, so we're gonna talk about that later. We're gonna talk about that later for like late night confession court. We're gonna talk about that later. See, it learned how to live inside your body rent free. Cool, cool. Yeah, cause I'm a motivational speaker. I'm that cousin that has that ear that you can come and talk to. You can DM me and we can just talk. And then for my subscribers, I have a whole separate private live session where they just lay it all out, get everything off their chest. Because I like to help everybody heal. That's what my content, everything is about, is healing. See, it learned how to shape your triggers, your boundaries, your fears, and you didn't even notice. It's most definitely lives on the inside, rent free. So you stay right here, Godspeed. I'm gonna give you, the blueprint and everything, how to truly heal. Because forgiveness is the decision to stop bleeding. Healing is the process. Thank you for the follow. I'm gonna follow you back. Right after TikTok actually lets me start following people because I have gotten a lot. Oh, thank you for the daily heart me. I had got a lot of followers. Now TikTok is saying you following too many people too fast, so it won't let me follow right now. But once it opens back up, trust I will follow you. See, healing is the process of learning how to move again without the scar controlling your every step. You know, if you ever wondered why you still feel tight, guarded, afraid, it's not because you failed to forgive. It's that your nervous system is still trying to feel safe again. Saying I appreciate y'all for tapping the screen. If this is hitting home, I appreciate y'all for tapping the screen. And double tap if you've ever said, I'm fine, but your body said, no, we're not. And I thank y'all for sharing this live out because somebody's still trying to hold it together while falling apart quietly. And I want to come in as that cousin and scoop you up and be like, don't worry, I got you. You don't need to fall apart anymore. I got you. And while you're doing that, type the word survival in the chat if you've ever realized your forgiveness was really just emotional survival. You forgave because you needed to keep moving. But now it's time to heal so you can start growing. Because I want to see y'all growing. I want to see y'all living y'all best life. Survival. Thank you. Thank you. Survival. See, the hardest part of forgiveness isn't just, saying the words. It's realizing who you were really forgiving in the first place. Maybe it was them. Maybe it was you. The version of you that survived what almost broke you. The version, that kept it together so you could make it here tonight. So if this hits your spirit, tap the screen, because family, we're not done yet. The next part, we're gonna ask the real questions. Who did you really forgive? Who did you really forgive? See, now it's time to move into cross examinations, because forgiveness sounds noble until you realize who you were really trying to set free. So let's ask the real question, family. Let's ask the real question. Who did you really forgive? Again, was it them or was it you? Did you forgive them because your heart was ready? Or because your peace was tired? Or did you forgive them so you could move on? Or so they wouldn't feel guilty? See, sometimes we rush forgiveness, not because we're healed, but because we're exhausted. We don't want to hold people accountable, not because we're over it, but because we're tired of feeling it. We confuse exhaustion with closure. What we say, we say, like, I'm done, but okay, but it backfired in my face. What? So don't worry, Godspeed. You wait till we get to the blueprint. I got a whole lot of stuff for you. Because I want to see you living your best life. So let's break it down a little bit more. Let's talk about it a little bit more, because we say, I'm done talking about it, right? We say that a lot. I'm done talking about it. But what we really mean is, I'm tired of being disappointed. So we call it forgiveness. We when really it's avoidance dressed up in church clothes. And that's why some of us are walking around quoting scriptures but still living in suffering. Because forgiveness without honesty is just performance. It looks peaceful, but it's really suppression with better lighting. So let's talk about what I call the three false forgivenesses, okay? Y'all ready? The three false forgivenesses. As we go through them, I want you to be honest with yourself. No shame, no guilt, just recognition. Thank you for liking the live. I appreciate that. Because awareness is the first step to freedom. Now, thank y'all for tapping the screen. Thank y'all for sharing the live. Hey, so I want to flood the algorithm with healing tonight. All right. So the first false forgiveness is fast forgiveness. Fast forgiveness. Y'all maybe wonder, like, fast forgiveness? Fast forgiveness is when you say, I'm good, just to dodge feeling the pain. You rush to forgive because sitting in the hurt feelings feels too heavy. You want your control back, so you fake peace. You tell the world you moved on while your soul is still sitting in the scene of the accident. But peace, peace that comes too soon is just denial with a smile. Peace that comes too soon is just denial with a smile. You can't rush divine timing. You can't microwave recovery. If you skip the grieving, you rob the healing. So ask yourself, did you heal or did you just hurry? Type the word awareness in the chat if you've ever moved on too fast just to stop the ache. Now, the second, the second one, the second false forgiveness is forced forgiveness. which a lot of us falls into this. Saying I see that awareness, I see that. See now the second one is forced forgiveness. A lot of us grew up like this. You know, then again, then there's forced forgiveness. The one religion and family pressure taught us. That one, that said, be the bigger person. Hey there, no, hey there. I don't know how to pronounce that, but welcome in, welcome in. How are you doing? See, the one that religion and family pressured us or pressure taught us, the one that said be the bigger person. But you weren't being big, you were being quiet. You silenced your truth to keep the peace, not realizing that fake peace just prolonged pain. You told yourself good people forgive quickly, but no one told you that boundaries are holy too. Hey there, Lucas. Welcome into Confession Court. How are you doing? How is your morning going? I appreciate you coming in. We're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. See, in the forced forgiveness, you can't heal by pretending it didn't happen. You can't become whole by shrinking your truth to fit other people's comfort zone. See, forced forgiveness isn't grace, it's gaslighting with good intentions. See, if you ever felt that, type boundaries in the chat right now. Let the algorithm know healing is trending tonight. And finally, fake forgiveness. Fake forgiveness. That's when you say it's over. I see you right there, Godspeed. I see you right there. I appreciate that. See, and then there's, finally fake forgiveness. That's when you say it's over, but you're still holding court in your mind every night. You're still replaying the argument, still defending your side in imaginary conversations, still proving your point to a ghost that can't hear you. You're not healing if you're still trying to win the invisible argument. You can't heal in the same space that broke you. And some of you, hear me. I don't want to lose you. You keep visiting emotional crime scenes, expecting the evidence to stop hurting. You can't keep testifying in a trial that's already closed. You are not crazy for replaying the conversation. You are just still hoping the ending will change. But forgiveness isn't about changing the story, it's about changing your role in it. It's saying, I don't need them to lose for me to heal. It's saying, I don't have to keep explaining myself to people who stop listening halfway through my sentence. It's saying, the verdict doesn't belong to them anymore. So tonight, let's make it plain, okay? Let's make it plain. If you ever caught yourself replaying a conversation that should have ended months ago, type enough in the chat. Type enough. Type it for every sleepless night you argued in your mind. Type it for every imaginary debate you finally, deserve to retire. Type it for every time you gave energy to what was already decided. Hey there, Karini. Karini, you still up, girl? Hey, welcome back, Karini. So now you coming in the beginning of halfway, into it, but you here now, Karini. That's good. So you can get what you missed earlier. It said enough times 1,000. I see you guys, speed. Welcome, Karini. So now we can really have a conversation, Karini. We can talk now. See, because you're not alone, y'all. You're not alone. We've all been in that mental courtroom. You just woke up. Yeah, me too, Karina. I just woke up too because there was like some party going on like across the street, and they had loud music on, and it just woke me up. So I was like, you know what? Let me just replay Confession Court again. Just for those who may be up, at this time in the morning. So for me, it's 3:39 in the morning. I don't know about for you, but I was like for those who are up and may need to hear this, let me just go live and just do Confession Court over again. So I guess it was meant for you. But again, family, again, you're not alone. We've all been in that mental courtroom, cross-examining people who aren't even present. But tonight, that trial ends. Oh, it's 4:39 for you. So that's right. You're Eastern Standard. Yeah, that's right, Orlando. about 45 minutes from my hometown. Yep, that's right, that's right. So yeah, it's around that time for you to be waking up, because I know it's Sunday. But Queen, don't forget Sunday Power Hour. It's gonna be 11. Well, for you, it's gonna be noon. I don't know if you're gonna be in church, but it's gonna be at noon. Got a lot of motivation for you. But family, the verdict is simple. You can't heal from something you're still rehearsing. You can't reach your next chapter if you keep rereading the last one. Excuse me. You can't walk in peace while dragging evidence from a case that's already been dismissed. It's time to rest your case. So, family, take a breath. Take a breath, family, and let that sit. You know, I really want to help y'all. I really want to make sure that y'all get these tools because I want to see you living your best life, okay? See, now, family, this is the part of the show where, we bring it all the way home. See, confession court ain't about judgment, it's about release. It's not about punishment, it's about permission. Permission to finally tell, the truth out loud without shame. See, permission to stop pretending that forgiveness fixed everything when your heart knows it didn't. So tonight I want to read you some real confessions. These aren't stories from strangers, these are soul stories. These are the moments, we all carry but rarely admit. These are the people who forgave but never healed. So tap the screen if you're ready for this next part and share this live because somebody out there needs, to hear that they are not crazy for still feeling something. Okay? Because I want to flood the live with healing energy. Thank you. I see you tapping, girl. I see you tapping. I see you tapping, Godspeed. I see you tapping. So that the first confession right here, that this one hits home for me. I forgave my mother, but I still feel like that little kid who was never enough. I told myself I forgave her, but every time she calls, I tense up. I don't yell, I don't argue, I just shrink. I go back to the version of me that was always trying to earn love. I thought forgiveness would make me feel lighter, but I still feel small. Family, listen. You didn't fail because you still hurt. You didn't fail because the memory still stings. You are not weak. You are just human. See, forgiveness is a decision. Healing is a process. Sometimes the pain doesn't mean you didn't, that you haven't forgiven. It means the wound is still learning how to, or what safety feels like. See, healing a parent wound isn't about changing them. It's about reparenting yourself. It's about giving yourself the voice, the comfort, the I'm proud of you that you waited years to hear. Because sometimes you gotta say that to yourself. You gotta tell yourself that you're proud of yourself. So you stop waiting for the apology that may never come and start giving yourself the validation you always deserved. Okay? And if that hit you, type enough in the chat. Enough shrinking, enough waiting, enough pretending it didn't hurt. And while you're doing that, tap that screen because this one right here, this one was personal. It was personal for me because mom and I didn't really have that best, relationship. But I'm glad that later on in the years, before she left this plane, that we was here or halfway there. Now the second confession is I forgave my ex, but I can't stop comparing them to everyone new. I told myself I'm over it. I even said I wish them well. But deep down, I'm still building a walls around wounds I never faced. I don't miss them. I miss who I thought I was when I loved them. See, forgiving, sorry, tongue twister going on. Having a little dyslexic moment, so bear with me. See, forgiveness lets them go. That's hitting home for you guys, Speed. I see that emoji, so that would hit home for you. Don't worry. Karina tell you, I got you. I got you. See, forgiveness lets them go, but healing lets you love again. You can't rebuild your heart on top of ruins you never cleared. You can't build new trust on top of old triggers. You're not crazy for protecting yourself, but protection without processing turns into isolation. You know, they didn't win because you still feel pain. You win when you stop carrying the old version of you that they broke. You can forgive what happened and still grieve who you were before it. You can forgive and still miss the way you loved before you got hurt. And that's not weakness, that's wisdom growing its roots. So if this is hitting your spirit right now, type the word healed in the chat. Even if you're not there yet, speak it like a prophecy over your future self. Okay? See, you know, we call it moving on. But the truth is, most of us never gave ourselves permission to mourn first. Right, you're healed. You're healed. Yes, you are healed. See, we try to move on while still bleeding. We try to debate while still dizzy. We try to build new beginnings with bricks made from old pain. Okay, so family, tap the screen and share this live. Let's push this word to somebody who is still calling numbness peace. And the third confession right here, I know a lot of us had to deal with this right here. I forgave my friend, but I can't forgive the betrayal. Hey there, welcome in. Is that C.C. Devil? I don't want to butcher your name, but hey there, welcome in, welcome in. I forgave my friend, but I can't forget the betrayal. They were like family to me. The kind of friend you thought you'd grow old with, the kind of bond that felt sacred. I forgave them for what they did, but I don't trust anyone the same anymore. I miss them, but not enough to risk the pain again. See, and that's real. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. You can love somebody and still close the door behind them. 'Cause I know I've done it. I've done it. I had to learn to do it. You can wish them well and still keep your peace private. You can love them from afar. You can do that because my mom was a prime example. She taught me that very well. You can love them from afar without reopening the wound that almost took you out. See, healing isn't about pretending it didn't happen. It's about saying it happened and I'm still here. So say that loud. Say that loud. Say that loud right now. I'm still here. See, that's not defeat. That's power. That's survival turned into sovereignty. That's your spirit saying, you didn't break me, you built me. Okay? So if that hit, type still here in the chat right now. Let's see who's still standing. Let me see the survivors, the rebuilders, the ones who turned pain into power. Because family, every confession we read tonight had one thing in common. One thing in common. People trying to make peace with the parts of themselves they left behind. Right, you still here. You're still here, Godspeed. Yes, you're still here. Karini, where you at? You still here? You still here, Karini? See, people try people try to make peace with parts of themselves they left behind. I'm about to say, because I didn't see you, typing still here. I see you stop still here. I'm looking. See, forgiveness freed the memory, but healing is what frees the soul. You can forgive and still need time. You can forgive and still have triggers. You can forgive and still have questions that may never get answered. And that's okay. That's real. That's human. Okay? So before we move on, I want you to type the word real in the chat if you are ready to stop pretending peace and start pursuing healing. Because peace without process is just pretending. And we're not pretending anymore. We are healing out loud. So tap the screen, share the live. We're not doing it just for the numbers, But because every tap pushes this message to somebody sitting in silence tonight and somebody who forgave but never found freedom. Because tonight, or for some of us this early morning, we're reclaiming that freedom and the truth. It still stands trial, but the verdict belongs to you. So now, this part right here is for both of y'all, for you, Godspeed, for you, Karini. So I know Godspeed, I was telling you earlier, I got a blueprint. I got a blueprint for you. So if y'all got your notepads open, your notes app, or your pen and paper, this part is where you might want to write some down. Karina may call this the homework, but it's not really the homework, but it is the blueprint to help you, live a better life. See, family, we've put the truth on stand. Hey there, Rick. Is it Rick Jackson? Hey there, Rick Jackson. Welcome into Confession Court. How are you doing? How's your early morning going? Tonight we are talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. Right now, I'm about to give y'all the healing blueprint. The healing blueprint. So again, family, we've put the truth on the stand. We've seen the evidence. We've heard the confessions, and now it's time for the verdict. Not on them, but on you. Okay? Because this is where forgiveness turns into freedom. This is where pain stops being the prosecutor and becomes the proof of your growth. So tonight, I'm not giving you theory. I'm giving you the blueprint, the real everyday steps to heal after forgiveness. See, not, it's not an overnight healing. It's not, a quoted on Instagram healing. It's the real, raw, daily soul work, okay? So, if y'all ready, let me know if y'all ready. Let me see you tapping that screen. Let me know if you're ready for this blueprint. Let me see you tapping them screens. I want to see them hearts. Let me know that you're ready for this blueprint. Because the first step, step one, acknowledge the wound. Okay? Acknowledge the wound. There we go. I see them hearts. Acknowledge the wound. Stop minimizing what hurt you. Okay? Stop minimizing what hurt you. Stop rewriting it to make other people comfortable. Stop doing that. Stop saying it wasn't that bad when you know it nearly broke you. Stop doing that. If they betrayed you, say that. If they abandoned you, say that. If they lied to your face, say that. If they cheated on you, say that. If they stole from you, say that. If they put their hands on you, say that. Because you can't heal what you refuse to name. See, forgiveness without acknowledgement is amnesia, okay? Forgiveness without acknowledgement is amnesia. And you can't move on from what you keep pretending never happened. See, when you sugarcoat pain, you poison your progress, okay? When you sugarcoat your pain, you poison your progress. Whisper it, not for them, but for yourself. This hurt me. Say it again until your voice stops shaking. This hurt me. See, that's step one of healing, honesty. And honesty always cracks the shell where healing begins. So type the word honest in the chat if you're ready to call it what it is. Okay? Step two, y'all. Step two is release the fantasy. Release the fantasy. That's right. I'm waiting. I'm seeing. There you go, honest. There you go, honest. I see that honest in the chat. Godspeed. See now, step two is release the fantasy. Release it. You can't heal while you're still waiting for them to finally understand what they did. That perfect apology you keep imagining, that's not closure. That's a screenplay. That moment where they finally, quote unquote, get it, where they look you in the eye and say every word you've been waiting to hear, that's not real life. That's the rerun your mind plays when it craves justice. See, some people can't give you closure because acknowledging the truth would destroy the image they built for themselves. Hey there, welcome in, welcome back. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I want to start with just say Anna. Welcome in, welcome in. Hey there, Ross. How are you doing? How's your morning going, Ross? Welcome to Confession Court. See, stop waiting for an ending that they are not emotionally capable of writing. Close it for you. Write your own last chapter. Take your pen back and say, I decide where this story ends. Because a lot of y'all know who's been in my lives, or seen a lot of my posts, affirmational posts. I do have one quote that I say all the time. You are the director of your own movie. Cast accordingly. Do not let others dictate your scenes. I say that all the time. I don't know if you heard me say that before, Karina, but I say that all the time. You are the director of your own movie. Cast accordingly. Do not let others dictate your scenes. See, because you can't start your next chapter if you're still editing someone else's lies. So type closure in the chat if you're ready to release that fantasy tonight. Tap the screen if you're done waiting for people who never showed up. Okay? I see that. I see them hearts. I see them hearts. Where did Godspeed go? Godspeed to come back. But Karina, this is for you. Karina, we had this conversation now. Okay. Step 3: reparent yourself. Reparent yourself. This is where it gets deep. Talk to the part of you that needed closure and never got it. The version of you that sat there wondering why love looked like it's leaving. Okay? Hold a space, hold that space for the younger you. The one who kept showing up for people who didn't stay, the one who thought peace meant, pleasing everyone else. See, you can't keep abandoning yourself just to prove you moved on. You can't keep saying, I'm fine, when the inner child is still whispering, please don't forget me. See, healing means, giving that version of you what they never got: consistency, compassion, and protection. Okay? So tonight, I want you to say this out loud. Excuse me, I like this coffee, like, gives you gas, make you burp. Excuse me. Hey there, Zoo. How are you doing? Welcome into Confession Court. How is your morning going? So tonight, I want you to say this out loud, okay? Even if your voice shakes, you are safe now. I've got you. Say this to your inner child, your younger self. You are safe now. I've got you. That's not just comfort. That's reconstruction. You are not just healing from what they did. You are healing from what you had to become to survive it. So type safe in the chat if you're ready to protect your peace like you protect your phone. Because your heart deserves better security than your notifications. Okay? So now step 4. Step 4. Forgive yourself again. Forgive yourself again. This one right here, this is the hardest part. Not forgiving them, forgiving you. See, let me move this mic down. See, again, this one right here, this is the hardest part. Not forgiving them, forgiving you. Not for what they did, but for what you accepted. You blame yourself for staying too long, for ignoring the red flags, for letting your love overrule your logic. But hear me. You weren't foolish. You weren't foolish. You were faithful. You loved from the level of awareness you had at the time. You didn't fail. You felt deeply. You gave what you hoped looked, sorry, dyslexia just kicking in every now and then, so just bear with me. See, you gave, what you hoped someone would give back to you one day. And that's not weakness, that's proof your heart still works. So forgive yourself for the nights you replayed the conversation. Forgive yourself for calling chaos chemistry. Forgive yourself for mistaking silence for peace. Forgive yourself for forgetting your words just to keep the connection. See, healing isn't perfection. It's respect in motion. Hey there, user. How are you doing? Welcome in. Welcome to Confession Court. We're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. And right now we're going through the blueprint. See, this is your emotional rehabilitation. No judge, no jury, just you reclaiming your own power. See, forgiveness was the release, healing is the build. Okay? Forgiveness was the release, healing is the rebuild. And every boundary you honor from this moment forward is a brick in the house your peace will live in. Tap the screen if that landed and type the word rebuild in the chat if you're ready to forgive yourself and mean it this time. And while you're doing that, share it alive, because somebody out there still thinks healing means erasing the past when it really means redeeming it. And finally, this, or well, not finally, family, this is how you break the pattern. This is how you take your power back. This is how you stop bleeding in places that didn't even cut you. See, forgiveness got you free, but healing keeps you whole. And wholeness is the new wealth. Peace is the new luxury. Freedom, real freedom, is the final verdict. So if you are ready to rebuild, type whole in the chat, type the screen and share and send some love, and let's remind the world. We just we don't just forgive to move on. Hey there, Alma. How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. How's your morning going, Alma? So again, family, we don't just forgive to move on. We forgive to move up. We don't just let go. We grow forward. Because this right here, this is how you turn pain into power and wounds, if you have more than one, into wisdom. See, court is still in session, but freedom is already on the record. So now I want to give y'all some common traps and how to avoid them. Hey there, John. How you doing? Now I want to give y'all some common traps and how to avoid them. Okay, because this is confession court, and we're talking about crazy. I came across this because I've been working on forgiveness for so long. Yes, Alma, you in the right place. You in the right place because I'm talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. So now I went through the blueprint, the healing blueprint. So now I'm gonna give you some common traps and how to avoid them. So if you see these traps, Alma, then you already know that this is a trap, and I'm gonna tell you how you can avoid them. Okay? See, family, before we close this case, we got to talk about the traps. We gotta talk about the traps because even after forgiveness, even after the tears, after the journaling, and after the "I'm finally over it" post, healing still can get hijacked. Okay, forgiving myself and forgiving my family who has done me so wrong. Yep, I've been there. Thank you for the rose. I've been there. I know what you're talking about. I've been there. I've lived it. So you're in the right place. You're in the right place. So I'm gonna give you the common traps and how to avoid them because I don't want your healing to get hijacked. And I don't want it to get hijacked by your enemies. I don't want to get hijacked by your habits. So let's talk about the ways we self-sabotage our own healings and the subtle traps that make peace feel like a moving target. Okay? Because I want you to heal. I want to make sure that you heal. So now the first trap is the illusion of "I'm fine." The illusion of "I'm fine." This one's dangerous, family. It sounds mature, it sounds strong, it sounds like progress, but it's not peace, it's performance. The "I'm fine" is the mask we wear when we're afraid of looking broken. Okay? It's the emotional filter we use when we don't feel safe being human. Like what's under the "I'm fine." Hey there, Reese's. Is it Reese's Pieces? Hey there, Reese's Pieces. How you doing? What's under that "I'm fine" mask? Fatigue, frustration, fear of being misunderstood again. See, we don't say I'm fine because we're healed. We say it because we're scared nobody will hold us right if we're honest. But pretending you are okay isn't healing. It's spiritual people pleasing. So tonight, drop the I'm fine act, okay? You are not fine. You are becoming. You are transforming. You are under construction, and that is okay. And if that is resonating with you right now, type real in the chat because healing can't start until honesty walks into the room. Okay? So I want to make sure you heal. And Alma, if you need to have that one-on-one talk with me, just DM me. I am that cousin, that motivational speaker. I will be there for you and talk to you and help you work through whatever that you're working through. Karina, you can tell it because I will be in your DMs. We will be talking. Now, trap two. Trap two. The addiction to control. That's the second trap. The addiction to control. So let's talk about control, shall we? The silent comfort zone of the brokenhearted. After betrayal, after abandonment, after chaos, we promise ourselves never again. Because I've said that before to myself, never again. We start policing our emotions, micromanaging our outcomes, and calling it boundaries. But that's not a boundary, that's a bunker. You are not protecting your peace, you are protecting your fear of losing it again. You don't have to control everything to be safe. You just have to trust that you can handle whatever happens next. Control is fear in designer clothes. It looks organized, it looks confident, but it's really just anxiety trying to feel important. So let go of the illusion that your power comes from predictability, okay? No, your power comes from your peace under pressure. And if that hit, type trust in the chat right now. Trust the process, trust the pause, trust the parts of you that's learning to breathe again without the weight. And family, tap that screen because somebody's out there in TikTok streets watching, and you're allowed to rest, without losing control. We need to let them know that. Now, trap three. The third trap. Hey there, Wadsworth. How are you doing? Welcome into Confession Court. Wadsworth, we're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. So right now we're on trap three because I want to give you all these traps so you can understand and recognize these traps and then have the tools to avoid them. Now this trap three right here, the healing alone trap. The healing alone trap. Now this one is sneaky, y'all. This one is sneaky. It's the lone wolf healer. That one that says, I don't need anybody. I just need me and God. That sounds noble, right? Sounds independent, right? But that's not healing. That's isolation disguised as strength because God created community for a reason. Healing happens in conversation. Growth happens in connection. Breakthroughs happen when you stop suffering in silence. You can't self help your way out of something that broke you in a relationship. You need safe spaces. You need safe people and accountability that loves you enough to call you out and hold you down. Stop calling loneliness independence. Stop thinking vulnerability is a weakness. You are not meant to carry the whole story alone. You were meant to witness it with others. See, healing isn't hiding, it's being seen without shame. So if that landed, type together in the chat because healing happens faster when you stop pretending you are the only one who needs it. Because sometimes sharing your story with somebody else will help them. Will help them go through whatever they're going through because they may be going through the same thing that you're going through and you can help each other, hold each other accountable. So tap the screen and share the live and remind somebody scrolling right now you are not weak for needing people. You are wise for building a village. Okay? Yep, I see them hard. So I appreciate y'all tapping the screen. So now the fourth trap. The fourth trap. This gets a lot of people. The spiritual bias trap. The spiritual bias trap. Again, now this one, this one, gets, people, well, I won't say people, but this one gets even the most enlightened among us. We start hiding behind spirituality instead of healing through it. We quote scriptures, affirmations, crystals, and sage, but we won't admit we're still angry. We say God's got it, when really we are saying, I don't want to deal with it. We confuse repression with faith, but God doesn't heal what you hide, He heals what you hand over. You can't manifest freedom while you're still avoiding accountability. You can't affirm away emotional avoidance. Healing requires honesty, even in your prayer closet, y'all. You know, don't use spirituality to skip the process. Use it to strengthen you through it. And if that spoke to you, type surrender in the chat, because healing is holy work and surrender is what sacrifices it, okay? This love, I love the hearts. I love the hearts. Surrender, yes, yes, yes. Now, trap five, y'all. Trap five. The quick fix trap. The quick fix trap. We live in a microwave culture. Everybody wants the fast version of everything: love, success, peace, purpose. But real healing, it's not Amazon Prime. It's, you can't, 2 way or 2 day ship emotional maturity. You can't binge watch your way through grief. You can't download closure like an app. Healing takes repetition. It takes routine. It takes re-choosing peace on the days when it's easier to numb it out. You'll know you're healing when you stop rushing your recovery. When you finally say, I'd rather be whole than broken now. So if you have been feeling impatient and you've been wondering, why am I not over it yet? Hear this. You are not behind, you are becoming. So type becoming in the chat right now, because that's what this season is. Not punishment, not delay, preparation. Tap the screen, family. This is your reminder that divine timing doesn't need your panic, it needs your presence. Hey there, y'all. Hey there. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. I appreciate y'all tapping the screen. I just love seeing the hearts going across the screen. I just love seeing the hearts. Now, trap six. Trap six. The return to the scene. And that's the final trap. The return to the scene of the crime. You know what I mean. So don't be looking at the screen crazy. You know what I mean. When you revisit the person, the place, the pattern, thinking maybe it'll be different this time. But healing can't happen in the same environment that hurt you. You know, that's like trying to detox while sipping poison out of habit. You can't rebuild your self worth in the same room where you learned to question it. You can't pray for peace while sleeping with your trigger. At some point, you have to decide, do I want closure or do I want freedom? Because closure keeps you wanting, or not wanting, but waiting for their confession. But freedom lets you walk away without it. So tonight, if you've been tempted to go back to text them, to check that page, to reopen that door, hear me. Hear me closely now. Returning isn't healing, it's relapsing. See, you've already served your sentence. Don't volunteer for another trial. If that hits home, type done in the chat right now. Done explaining yourself. Done trying to prove your worth to people who never saw it. Done going back to what you prayed your way out of. Family, tap the screen and say it loud. Say it out loud with me. I'm done revisiting old wounds, pretending they are new opportunities. Thank you for liking the live. I appreciate that. Thank you for liking the live. Family, hear me. Hear me, family. Forgiveness freed you. Forgiveness freed you. Healing rebuilt you. But wisdom? Wisdom keeps you free. You don't have to repeat the lesson to remember it. You don't have to prove you changed by walking back into the fire. You are allowed to rest, rebuild, and rise without revisiting what burned you. So if you're ready to move forward, hey there, Will. Welcome into Confession Court, Will. Welcome into Confession Court. Right now, we're talking about I forgave them, but I didn't heal. Again, family, you are allowed to rest, rebuild, and rise without revisiting what burned you. So if you're ready to move forward, if you're ready to step into healed energy, type free in the chat. Flood it. Let's make healing go viral tonight because peace is not a secret, it is a practice. And it starts the moment you stop negotiating your worth. See, court is still in session. Court is still in session. But from this moment forward, you are no longer the defendant. You are the witness to your own redemption. And family, the verdict is freedom. Okay? The verdict is freedom. So, right now, family, right now, take a deep breath with me. Okay? Take a deep breath with me. Inhale truth and exhale pretending. Inhale truth and exhale pretending. See, tonight we put forgiveness on the stand. We examined the evidence. We heard the testimonies. We sat in truth, the kind that stings first but saves later. We learned, that forgiveness frees the past, but healing frees the future. We learned that you can forgive and still feel, that peace doesn't mean silence, and that pain doesn't mean failure. It means you survived. The verdict is in, and tonight it's not about who hurt you, it's about who you are becoming because of it. So, family, tap the screen. Let's anchor this together because this moment right here, this isn't the end of the trial, it's the beginning of your testimony. So, as you already know, the final verdict. Y'all know what it is? I know I said it. The final verdict is freedom. Freedom. You don't owe closure to the person who broke you. You don't owe completion to the sorry. You don't owe closure to the person who broke you. Hey there, Journey. Welcome in. How are you doing, Journey? Welcome in. Again, you don't owe closure to the person who broke you. You owe completion to the person you are becoming. Your peace is not negotiable. Your healing is not optional. And your story is still being written. But this time, you hold the pen. You are no longer living in the reaction of the pain. You are living in the response of purpose. You listening? Awesome, awesome. I appreciate that, Jordan. I appreciate that. See, family, you don't need their apology to begin again. You just need your permission. So say this with me right here, wherever you are, unless you're driving, so I don't want no accidents, but wherever you are, say this with me, okay? I forgive because I'm free. I heal because I'm whole. I release because I'm ready. Okay? I forgive because I'm free. I heal because I'm whole. I release because I'm ready. So right now type the word free in the chat if you felt that release in your chest. You've been carrying what wasn't yours to carry. So tonight, set it down. Set it down. If you've been fighting for peace, tonight, claim it. Hey there, Lori. How are you doing? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome into Confession Court. So I'm gonna say this again for you. I'm gonna say this again. Yes, yes, you're free. You're free. Type free in the chat if you felt that release in your chest. If you've been carrying what wasn't yours to carry, tonight, set it down. If you've been fighting for peace, tonight, claim it. If you've been replaying that old story tonight, rewrite it. Because, family, this is the night your healing becomes habit. Hey there, Victoria. Or is it Victoria? Victorious. See, I got affirmation for the healed heart. I have affirmation for the healed heart for you. And I want y'all to, you say, right, I see you, Journey, right? See, I want y'all to repeat this after me and mean it like you're speaking a new reality into being, okay? So if you need a minute to open up, the notes app on your phone or your Google Docs or grab a pen and paper to write this down, let me know. Cause I'll give you a little minute. Hey there, dude with loud shirt. How are you doing? How's your morning going? Well, I want you to repeat this affirmation with me. Repeat after me. I am no longer defined by what hurt me. I honor my feelings without letting them imprison me. My boundaries are holy. My heart is guarded but not hardened. I am safe to be seen, safe to be soft, and strong enough to stay standing. Forgiveness was my release. Healing is my rebirth. I am no longer defined by what hurt me. I honor my feelings without letting them imprison me. My boundaries are holy. My heart is guarded but not hardened. I am safe to be seen, safe to be soft, and strong enough to stay standing. Forgiveness was my release. Healing is my rebirth. And one more time for the ones still healing quietly in the back. I am not broken. I am becoming. That's for you. For those in the back that's healing quietly, that's for you. I am not broken. I am becoming. And if that spoke to you, type becoming in the chat and let's make that word echo across timelines because healing is not just what you do, it's who you're stepping into. Of course, Journey, of course. And then I also have a live at 11 a.m. called Sunday Power Hour. So come on to Sunday Power Hour. It's 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're Eastern, it's noon. Give you some more power to help you push through the start of your week, Journey. And Karini and Alma and Nomad King, I got y'all. I got y'all. So here's CJ's final thought. Okay, here's my final thought for y'all. I want to leave you with this thought, family, okay? And I hope it sits with you long after this live ends. Hey there, Chris Williams. How are you doing? How is your morning going? I hope it's going well. So, again, y'all, I want to leave you with this, family. Of course, of course. And plus, Journey, I actually have my lives for this week scheduled. So if you just go to my profile and click on live, you'll see everything I have scheduled. So you can just register and come on in. Because I'm a man of affirmations and positivity, and I'm always about uplifting. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for liking the live. And then I'm the man of affirmations. I'm that cousin that you can come and talk to. If you need somebody to talk to and need a safe space, just DM me. I am that cousin. I will talk to you, hold you accountable, and help you grow. So again, I want to leave you with this thought, family. And again, I hope it sits with you long after the live ends. So go ahead and make sure you hit that follow. Make sure you hit that follow. Appreciate nice meeting you. Same here, Journey. See, look, family, you didn't go through all of that pain just to go back to pretending, okay? You went through, this to transform, to graduate from survival into self respect, to stop asking why me and to start declaring watch me. Don't just survive the storm, study it so you never walk back into another one unprepared. Don't just heal for peace, heal for power. Because healed people don't seek revenge, they seek results. And here's your reminder, y'all. Here's your reminder. The wound was never proof of your weakness, it was the classroom for your awakening. That's the quote for tonight. Write it down, speak it over your life, let it echo every time doubt whispers your name. The wound was never proof of your weakness, it was the classroom for your awakening. Keywords: watch me be healed. Yes, yes, watch me. So, Before we close out tonight, before we close this courtroom, I want y'all to take another deep breath, okay? I want you to take another deep breath. Inhale grace, exhale guilt, okay? Inhale grace, exhale guilt. And say this with me, softly but with conviction, okay? Say this right here, softly but with conviction. I forgive myself for what I didn't know. I release who I no longer am. I am I honor the version of me that survived. Hey there, Tammy, with a Y time. How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. How are you doing? How's your Sunday going? So repeat after me, y'all. I'm gonna start over. Repeat after me. And I want you to say this softly but with conviction, okay? I forgive myself for what I didn't know. I release who I no longer am. I honor the version of me that survived. I am whole. I am healed. I am free. Okay, let's say it again. I forgive myself for what I didn't know. I release who I no longer am. I honor the version of me that survived. I am whole. I am healed. I am free. And that's the real verdict, y'all. That is the real verdict. That's your freedom decree. Because forgiveness got you free, but healing keeps you whole. Okay? Healing keeps you whole. And if tonight, that hit home for you, type whole in the chat right now. Type whole in the chat. Share this live right now because somebody needs these words more than they know. And tap that screen until your thumb testifies. Okay, and I appreciate everybody who helped me reach my goal. Hey there, Love Jones. How are you doing? G7 in the family is in the house. Yep, and I see you, Jordan. I see you saying, you group 7 too. I appreciate that. Group 7 is in the house. Again, family. Join my Patreon page for full replays and healing notes. The link is in the bio. You will see the link tree. Click on that. Go to my Patreon page. I do post a lot more content on there, a lot more healing affirmations, a lot more, uplifting poems, worksheets that, that you can work with, work through or work on to help you move into the better version of yourself that you can be more proud of. But I'm going to make sure that you're proud of yourself right now because you're here and you're healed and you're free. You're, you're whole. And again, tag a friend who still carries something heavy. And again, if you haven't already, G7 Elite, yes, yes. And again, family, if you haven't hit that follow button, click that follow button and follow me and turn on notifications, so you can get, more of my lives, get notification when I go live. That's right, you're whole. Because here's my schedule, man. Let me give you my schedule, okay? Sunday, Power Hour. It's 11 a.m. Central Standard Time every Sunday. Monday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time is Motivation Court. Confession Court, which is what we're doing right now. Confession Court, it is Saturdays at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. But every now and then I may pop up around this time, just in case I feel it in the spirit, I'll just pop up because that would tell me if somebody out there that's on live, right, or on TikTok right now needs to hear this word, so I may jump in. But otherwise, it's 5 p.m. Saturday, Confession Court, Central Standard Time. And Tea Time with C.J. Some a little different, but I'm still giving you tools. But we're gonna talk about life stuff that you didn't even know that you need to unpack until right now. That's Tea Time with CJ. That is 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Every now and then you may see Tea Time with CJ and Rhonda because we have a female point of view. Because the Tea Time Network, yeah, this is a network. The Tea Time Network isn't just entertainment; it's enlightenment. We don't just talk truth; we transform it. And family, never forget this, okay? Never forget this part right here. You are the evidence that healing is possible. You are the living proof that peace is worth protecting. And as you go into this week, move with grace, walk with confidence, and remember, you don't have to wait for permission to start over. Your peace is your birthright. Your joy is your justice. Okay? Remember that. Remember that, y'all. I want to make sure y'all remember that. Y'all know that. You don't have to wait for permission to start over. Your peace is your birthright. Your joy is your justice. So until next time, family, sip slow, speak the truth, and live free. The case is closed, the court is adjourned, and your freedom is granted. Thank y'all for your time, and I will see y'all later on today, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, noon uh, Eastern Standard. All right. So, Karini, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Okay. Appreciate y'all. Love you. And if y'all need y'all cousin C.J., DM me because y'all know I will be in your DMs. I'll be checking in on you. All right. And I appreciate the taps, y'all. I appreciate the taps. All right. Later.